Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Delightful Creations. I'm Amber, and today is Focus Friday. Yay! I'm so happy you're here. I hope you find some value and maybe you learn a new scripture today. So, I'm reading in Proverbs still, and I just finished the book of Joshua. So, we're going to be kind of tag teaming both of those books of the Bible today. So, let's first go to Proverbs. And this verse sounds a little bit different in my Bible. I have the King James Version, and I didn't like how it was wrote. So I will read it out of my Bible, and then I wrote it on a tag, and I'll read you the difference of the wording on that tag. So first we're going to Proverbs 11, verse 25. It says, "The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself." I was like, what? I understand the last part, that if you water something, you'll be watered in return. But the liberal soul shall be made fat. What does that mean? That you'll be made full? I didn't quite understand. So I pulled out my New King James Version, and on the New King James Version, it is a lot different than the King James Version. It reads, "The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself." So the last part of that verse is exactly the same, but the first part is different. The generous soul will be made rich versus the liberal soul shall also be made fat. I prefer this version. I think it just sounds prettier. I think it sounds nicer, and I'm going to be able to easily understand what that verse means, right? So that is my Proverbs verse today. It's talking about the values of being righteous. Before that was talking about being wise and having wisdom and coming from God. And now it's talking about being righteous. So in Joshua, I just finished reading it. I'm done with Joshua. It's like it's been a journey, that's for sure. It's been interesting to read about all the different things that he and his people and the tribes have accomplished and conquered with God being with them. Incredible story. So I'm really happy that I get to share part of that with you today. We are going to be going to, again, another really quoted verse. You'll see this on plaques in Hobby Lobby on different pieces of displaying in people's houses, particularly. It is the Joshua, most famous Joshua verse, is what I would consider it to be. And it is Joshua 24, verse 15. I'm going to read the entire verse, and then at the very end, you'll know which part of it is. "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Yes, Joshua is having them choose. This is his last sermon, is what I would call that, his last speech before he does pass away. And he's gathered all of these really important people together, the judges, the priests, the elders in Shechem in Israel, to meet and have this meeting. And he is asking them to pledge themselves, pledge their life to serve the Lord. And to serve him, not only fear the Lord, but serve him in serenity and in truth. And put away those false gods. Put away those other gods, because our God is a jealous God, right? He wants us to only worship and serve and love him. And he's asking the people that, will you serve along with me? And they answer him, yes, we will serve with you. He is our God. And he says again, he said unto people, nay, but we will serve the Lord. And so it's said over and over and over of serving the Lord. And I thought that was really precious, really great. And I went through my entire sticker collection to find one, because I knew for sure that I had that, because I've seen it before. So inside of this one, it does have that verse right here. "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And then it's also in this one in black. And it says it the same. "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." So I'm not sure which one of those we will be using, but we're going to do that in the treasure journal, which, let me grab it here. So I went ahead and I don't know why I didn't do this in the beginning of Joshua. It would have been very helpful. I went ahead and I found a couple different maps. So let's look at the maps first. I'll set this back on my lap. These are the tribal allotments of Israel, the way they're broke up into the different tribes that Joshua and the Lord, right, designated the land for each tribe. And so you can see in the different colored spots here of all the different tribes, and it's got a bunch of cities and stuff, and it's really small, really hard to see. So I got this map here, and it's black and white, and it's a lot easier to see. So there's the Jordan River here is where they crossed, and you can see this is huge right here. This is Simeon and the tribe of Benjamin and Dan and Ephraim and Manasseh and Asher and Zebulun and Ishar and Naphtali and Gad and Reuben. And so it's like all spread out, right? It's all over the place. They walked this land for years and years and years. This is a promised land. This is in Israel. And yeah, I really wish I would have printed a map in the beginning to kind of see where they are. It does tell you they're going to the north or the south or the east. Anyways, I wanted to use a map today, but I didn't like this one and I didn't like this one. So I found this really pretty one, but you can't really read it. But I'm going to use this for my journal. You can read Bethlehem, Jerusalem. Here's Jericho. That's pretty much where my focus has been, is right here, right here. Now Shechem, or however you would say that, I don't know if it is on this map. So different maps have different spots. So they have this Shiloh mark. There's Shechem right here. So that right here is where Joshua has said that him and his house are going to serve the Lord. And that's in that's the location of that. So I'm going to grab my Bible again here. And also I found the perfect page to put this on because I want to remember this map. And I love the colors. And I love the vicinity of Jerusalem, and it's got a lot of places in the Bible. I'll be able to refer back to this. So I wanted to make it flip out where I could look at the entire map. Okay. Oh, and then I found this, the house page, right? Perfect. For me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And I just love the little garden and the white house. It's the perfect page. So I've got to decide now if I want it to go this way, which I think we do. It's the perfect height. It's just meant to be in here. And I'm going to fold it over so it will be flush here. Hopefully that's straight-ish. And then I will glue it to this page. So I'm going to be covering this. I'm going to be losing this nice green here, but that's unimportant. I only wanted it for the house anyhow. Okay, now I might have to fold it back the other way because I want this to open. Okay, let's give her a go here. I want this map to be glued in and I want it to open. I want it to... I probably should have printed it on a little bit thicker cardstock or something. Paper. This is pretty flimsy here. Just kind of... I think that's going to be too big. Let me just do it like this. Why I'm struggling here. Just want to be able to open the map. And I also want to use this white page. I don't want to, what I was trying to say is I didn't want to fold it too big where it wouldn't fit in there. Okay. Now I've got this great looking map, right? I don't want it to be that way because I want to be able to open it. So we're going to glue it on this side. There we go. Got it. So we're going to trifold now. Where I can pull it out. And I could also journal on the back, but I won't because it's already pretty thin. So I just want to be able to see this map in its fullness. So we're going to go ahead. I can make it a pocket too if you want it. Again, if I would have printed it on a little bit thicker paper, probably would have been better. But this is where we are. I spent more time looking for the sticker, honestly. And I've only used the map for 2 days. I feel really bad. Like, oh, wish I would have thought about using a map. I went through all of my Bibles looking for the map of Israel and trying to find where they're walking, and it just wasn't computing for me. So now I know. It's okay to have a visual, and I think that does help bring the Bible to life for me, is being able to visually see it. So when I was done reading Joshua, I tried to Google like where his tomb was, because it tells you at the end of Joshua where his tomb is in the Bible, but those names of those towns are really hard to pronounce, and they've renamed them, and so it's a really hard location to find. But there is a really cool different things you can look up on the internet about where his tomb is, and like the things that they've dug up, archaeologists, and then they have I didn't read exactly how many times they do it, but thousands and thousands of people, I believe it's every year, walk to Joshua to honor him and for the freedom that he brought to Israel for the people that live there, and they honor him. And I thought that was really cool, and so I wanted to just kind of keep the map here to remember my reading. And in my house, I'm going to serve the Lord. so I have this tag here, and the tag I wanted to add a birdhouse because I thought that would be really kind of still sticking with the house theme. So I've got this one here with some yellow, and then I've got this cute little one with some pink. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go with this pink house. And I told you I was working on a couple of AI birds, and I printed them out this morning after a big fight with the printer, and they're huge. So these are the 4 different little birdies that I just typed into the creator, and that's what it designed for me. So I thought maybe we can have a big giant bird, and he won't really live in this house, but I thought it would be really cute to have him. And I'm not sure where to put him, so I was like, okay, we'll just use this page here, because this is pretty see-through. And do I want to do that? There's like no room. I have to journal on here. I'm just not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. And I don't want to like stick a random bird on there. It just feels funny. And I can't glue this down, so I need a pocket for this. But I want to be able to see all the struggles we got going on here. I want to be able to see my house. So we're going to build on this page here, which is totally unplanned. So I'm just going to grab some scraps here. I see some pink paper underneath. This is some Bo Bunny paper. And let's see here. I think we'll go something like this. I really want this to be like a focal point, and I like doing borders. And then I'm going to make a corner tuck down here. I think we'll do that. And let me grab some vellum. I'll be right back. I went ahead and I grabbed a piece of green cardstock as well because I want to build from the base up. So we're going to remove these pieces for now. And I can already tell you we're going to need a paper clip here because that's going to be annoying that it keeps opening and then it's going to get ripped, right? And I've got this light pink one here, so I'm just going to stick it right on there. Perfect. Okay. Now, we're going to do this page on that white paper. I still want to see a border of that white. Okay, now Amber has nowhere to work. So I've got my notes over here, so I'm going to move my journaling Bible out of the way, and I'm going to grab my notes. So it talks about being the values of being righteous. So when we honor God, when we are living in his will, in his way, and following his rules and commandments, we are blessed. And that is what it's talking about by being righteous, following God's laws and commandments so that you can receive his favor and be seen by God as being delightful, which isn't that just wonderful? I love that. I love that so much because, well, I want to please God. I want him to see me as pleasant and, I want to bring him joy. I think that's so fun to think that we humans, we're not that important, whatever you're struggling with and seeing yourself as not having a whole lot of value, you bring God joy. You really do. He is just so delighted in you and by you. And I just think that is so cool. That is just so cool. Yes. And I'm loving this pocket layout. So I'm going to get my vellum. I want to put a vellum corner pocket here, and that's where I'm going to tuck this tag into because I want to be able to see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and make this a pocket and this a pocket. So we're going to have a double pocket here on this paper, and it'll be really thin, but on the other side I can add like book page or something to toughen it up. So let's attach these two together first of all. Let me grab my glue. Okay. Yeah, the liberal soul shall be made fat. Like, what? What is that? So I really like the New King James Version, which is very rare that I switch from the King James to, actually I'm going to do this the cool way, that I switch from the New King James to King James or any other version. I did like the NIV version, and there's a New Living Translate version where it does say the same thing or similar thing where the, wow, that just shot me in the face. Oh my goodness, that was a good one. Lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, but yeah, the different versions are really similar to the one where it speaks about having a soul that is generous, being full of goodness, so that if our cup is full, that's the way I think about it. That's what I've been told. We can fill others up, right? If our watering can, when we're going out into the garden, is full, we can water those flowers, and those flowers, in return, will show us their beauty. They will be delighted. They will show forth their fruit of producing because you spent time to water them. You took care of them, right? And that's the same thing with you as a person and honoring God. He takes care of you. And so he fills you up with goodness. He's able and fully capable of providing every single need that you have. Before, it says in the Bible, can't tell you where, before you ask or even think. I'm doubling this up because I don't want it to be thin. Just want a nice little corner tuck right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Mark here where I need to cut and go all the way down to here. Somewhere across like that. Okay. I'm fine with it if it's not perfect. I'm okay with not being perfect. I've gotten used to it. It's taken me a long journey of just coming from a scrapbook, and Margot will get this, a scrapbooking layout where the lines need to be straight. I mean, it just looks more pleasant to the eye when the lines are straight, right? Yeah, it's just interesting that junk journaling, you can mess up. You can make it as grungy and as however your taste suits you for the day. And every page can look different. This one's more of a clean cut page. I'm trying to make it more clean cut. Anyways. Okay, so I've got my little vellum corner pocket here. And I know this is going to add some bulk, but I've got yellow in the sewing machine. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sew down around this whole pocket page here. This is a flip up, right? Because I did it double. Because I wanted it tougher. So that's kind of cool. Be able to tuck that little fella in there. It's got pink thread on it. I made these followed by Shinuki Arts a long time ago. All right, now where did my birdhouse go? Little pink house, here you are. Here you are, and I'm just going to throw some cheesecloth behind it just because that's my thing now, I guess. And I don't like the words on that, so I just kind of want to cover them up. So something about not what I want to know about. But we're going to cover it up because our focus is on the Lord, and we are thinking about serving him, right? Me and my house will serve the Lord. Those beautiful little flowers there. Oh, so cute. So cute. Hope you guys can see. Got the camera in a different spot today. So I'm going to take that to the sewing machine, sew that down, we'll glue it to the page. This one's done. It's got my verse on the back. We're going to pop that into my little pocket here. There we go. And a little flip up here, which is interesting. I mean, I could glue it down. I think I'll just sew it shut. I don't really need it to flip up. I'm not going to put anything else in there. So then a little spot here for something and something here. And I wanted to use one of these birdies. And I think I'm going to fussy cut one out. And then I'll put it over here and glue it to this pocket. So I'll do that all off camera. And we'll come back and we'll finish up today. Oh my goodness. That was so much fun. So I went ahead and I sewed around the whole outside. And then I glued it down to this white page here. And I was just going to tuck in some of this birdie paper, this bird's nest writing paper, into that back pocket. I thought that would be perfect. And then I ransacked my room looking for something for the other pocket there. And I found another birdie tag that I made last year in Treasure Journal. So I'll take that out. That's actually the watercolor tag. It's one of the first ones that we made together. So that's really exciting. Everything else that I tried to fit in this pocket, I had other birdie tags. They were too big. And this I might even have to trim down. Yep, because I glued it on the inside of that sewing paper. And it just is a little bit too big. So we'll fix that. There we go. That hopefully is enough. If not, we'll chop off some more. We'll make it work for us. And so it just came together. I love the colors. They do go together. So I've got like a little 2-page spread thing going on here. And I'll be able to add some more journaling back here, maybe. It's one thing that I do not like about this stationery. It's really, really thin. And it rips easily. So probably should have trimmed it down before. I don't want to mess with getting it in and out of there. All right. So the last thing that I wanted to point out to you that I read about with Joshua is that it says in there, in the Bible, in Joshua 24, that's the last book of Joshua, that after the gathering, after he had all these people come and talk to them and pledge to them, this paper is not cooperating at all. Oh my gosh, I feel terrible. Okay, I'll mess with that later. I'm getting frustrated. After Joshua came and had all those people come and gave them the speech about serving the Lord, he then dies, and he was 110 years old, and I think that is an incredible life to live. And it does say in Proverbs, tying those two back together, that you'll live a long life if you choose to follow the Lord. He will bless your days until your mission, until your purpose is complete, because God's timing is perfect, and there is no other timing like it. And I love that green coming forth on the front here. It really ties this page all together with those beautiful pieces. And look at that. Look at that funness we just made. And I still might journal on here about Joshua's journey, and then I'm going to tuck something back here. I'll find something, and then I'm going to just leave this paper clip here because I'm going to get frustrated with it not wanting to stay shut. So, but what it says that when he dies, let me grab my Bible here instead of trying to remember what it says. I'll leave you with this the last little bit. Joshua 24, I just think it's so nice of what it says here. It says, and it came, Joshua 24, verse 29, and it came to pass after these things that Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. Guys, I want to be that to be said of myself. I want to be called a servant of the Lord, but not when I die, while I'm alive. Of course, while I'm alive, but I just thought that was a really nice way to end Joshua, that he was a servant of the Lord, and they traveled all of that land, and he believed in God and was able to complete his purpose. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's little crafty session and found some value and some fun ideas here as well. We'll see you soon in next week's video. Bye-bye.